Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Gallucci and today we will be talking about the basics of a community health improvement plan. The reason for this microlearning supplement presentation is to help those of you who have been struggling a little bit in this course to have some basic understanding of CHIP components. Some useful terms to remember: the Community Health Improvement Plan, aka the CHIP. It's a long-term systematic guide to addressing public health problems within a community, and from which this presentation will be based. A CHA, otherwise known as a Community Health Assessment, is the measurement tool that is used to identify the public health problems within a community. Just so you know, in case you couldn't remember, a CHIP is based off the responses and the data that we ascertain from the CHA. Some more terms to remember. Again, a healthy priority area consists of the fundamental challenges that must be addressed in order for a community to achieve its vision. These are your overarching topics, which might include things such as behavioral health, access to care, or the built environment. The goal is a broad long-term aim that defines the desired result. A strategy is how we will achieve that goal, and it provides a connection between the current reality, or where we are now, and the vision of where we want to be. An objective is a specific and measurable action a community plans to take to follow a strategy. If you remember from previous lessons, remember that objectives must be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Although we touched upon a CHIP structure in previous lessons, I want to include this diagram just to help reiterate the proper flow. Starting on the left side, we begin with healthy priority area. We move to goal, strategy, objective, and action. Please remember that we can have multiple priority areas in a CHIP. We can have multiple goals for every priority area, multiple strategies for every goal, multiple objectives for every strategy, and multiple actions for every objective. But for the purposes of brevity, we're just going to include an example of each just to help illustrate this point. Looking at the example below, for the healthy priority area, we chose healthy communities and environments, which is a very broad overarching health category. To help narrow this down, we decided with community partners that we wanted to focus specifically on a goal of obtaining equitable access to nutritious and affordable foods for our community. One strategy that we chose under this goal is to promote options for access to nutritious foods. Think of strategies as the vehicle you're going to use to get to your goal. I included two examples of two different types of objectives that you might see in a CHIP structure: a process or outcome objective, and I will touch upon that at the following slides. In this example, the first one reads, by December 31st, 2021, increase the percentage of Pinellas adults who meet both the daily recommendations for fruit and vegetable consumption from 9.3 to 11.5%. The second objective is by December 31st, 2021, promote the number of farmers market advertisements on Twitter from 1 to 8 times per year. As you can see, these objectives are very detailed and abide by the SMART acronym that I mentioned earlier. On the far right, you'll see the action, which in this example reads that we're going to market produce stand and farmers market locations through social media. Next, we're going to discuss outcome versus process objectives. In the real world, you may not have to differentiate in your CHIP plans which objectives are process and which objectives are outcome. However, it is useful to know. The outcome objective is focused on the intended effect of the program or specific intervention within community target population in moving that metric, versus a process objective is specifically focused on activities or services that will be delivered as part of a program to help improve an overall metric or community health outcome. It might sound confusing now, but this will make more sense when we look at more examples. In future modules, we will also discuss process measure versus outcome measure and how that applies to the objectives. But for now, we were just going to continue on. Let's go ahead and look at examples to help illustrate outcome versus process objectives. So under a priority area of health and well-being, we have this goal here to improve the physical health of Hillsborough residents. One of the ways that we're going to do that is to employ a strategy of promoting daily nutritious eating habits. Then we have two objectives and actions under this one strategy. The The first objective reads, by December of 2021, reduce the number of adults who report eating fast food 3 times per week from 43 to 38%. The second objective reads, by July of 2022, increase the number of free nutritional classes at the local YMCA from 2 per year to 6 per year. Now the first objective, if you haven't been able to tell, is an outcome objective. How do I know this, you might ask? Well, when you hear outcome objective, think data. By looking at this objective, we can tell that there are a certain number of adults in Hillsborough County who report eating fast food 3 times per week. So the outcome of this right now is 43%. We want to change that and reduce it to a more favorable number of 38%. Okay, so when you hear outcome objective, think data. We're trying to change the current status of where we are now to make it more favorable. The second objective, if you haven't guessed already now, is a process objective. And I know that because we are taking an actionable item to help improve the status of the community. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is by increasing the number of free nutritional classes, which currently sits at 2, and we want to up that to 6. So just to reiterate, when you hear outcome objective, think about the current status based off given data from a community health assessment or secondary research, and think of trying to move that data metric and structuring the objective in a way that reflects this. Again, by this example, reduce the number of adults who report eating fast food from 43% to 38%. We're trying to change the outcome. The process objective, once again, is actions that are going to help improve and work us towards that strategy and those goals. Let's conduct a check on learning. Identify the following as a goal, strategy, objective, or action. By December 2024, increase the number of free outdoor exercise locations from 5 to 8. The answer is objective. If you guess that this is a process objective, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. If you're still struggling to understand the differences, feel free to contact me or attend my office hours this Thursday at 7 p.m. and we could help discuss this a little further.